Hello, welcome back to Ace Attorney Book Club after a 2 week break. Well, not break, we just had a really long case to go through because this week we're going through Rise from the Ashes, the special extra case that was added to Ace Attorney when it was re released on the Nintendo DS and has been in every subsequent release. Um, it's a very, very long case, so we got a lot to talk about this week. But before we get started here, I'm joined by Goomb, Fluffy, and Allie. How are you guys doing this week?
Good.
It snowed.
Indeed.
Another week of my life.
Another week, another case of Ace Attorney. What I've always said ever since this thing has started, and will keep saying even when it ends.
Wow.
Maybe, if I keep playing Ace Attorney.
What'd you say?
Another week, another
will
case.
never end. Ace Attorney forever.
Ace Attorney.
There's no end to the series. What are you talking about? Like Capcom making games.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, like I feel like they wouldn't go through the hassle of like re-releasing and like remastering it. Like they will make a seventh game at one point.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, but before we get started into this big case today, Fluffy, you were absent for last week. I don't know if you remember that case at all, but if you want to say anything on that case, you have 2 seconds to say it. Go.
Uh,
All right.
that was my 2 seconds.
All right, good thoughts on that one. Now let's move on to Rise of the Ashes. So Rise of the Ashes was an extra case that was added in on the DS re-release. Basically, it involves Phoenix meeting a new partner because Maya is off doing stuff, and some stuff happening with like the police
Maya is in
department.
Spain.
Yeah, Maya is in Spain, and a bunch of wacky things happens with the police department and the prosecution office, and the fate of Edgeworth and Phoenix. So pretty cool case. Before we start going through all the different days and stuff that happens, any initial thoughts about just like the case in general, or how you felt about it?
I think the title is very fitting for the case. I was very confused about like the slow start at first, but like it really kind of started to make a lot of sense at the end, and I like really grew fond of this. I guess I'm like kind of going into my rating early on, which is end of the podcast sort of thing.
Yeah, you don't have to give a rating yet. I guess my initial thoughts were one, the name of the case is kind of weird because this was an added extra one, and if you played any of the other trilogy games, you'll know that they all include Turnabout in the name of their cases. So this is the only one.
It's called Turnabout Revival in Japan.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
it's just an English translation thing.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though.
Interesting.
It makes sense.
Or Turnabout Rebirth. Sorry, I misremembered.
It's
I
like
had
a
to go
Phoenix
scroll down
Fun.
on my notes. Don't worry, I actually wrote that down.
It's like a what?
I feel like the biggest thing about this case for me is you can really tell that it was a re-release one because all the stuff to do with like 3D models and within the investigation as well is like
This is
very
the tower of the Nintendo DS.
yeah, that really showed. I mean, specifically with like the fingerprint dusting and stuff and blowing away all the dust.
That was funny. Just
Yeah.
It's a
It
little
has
bit
the-
jarring going from the first 4 cases then into this where it's just so high tech comparatively.
Fingerprinting, luminal,
3D
and
3D video.
rotating around the evidence is all DS gimmicks.
Yeah.
This case had a very
remember
slow
what-
start. And like, but I think by like this like probably the second investigation is when it really kind of hit off in my opinion. But I've never, full disclosure, like this is the one case in Ace Attorney when I didn't play, so like playing this was cool for the first time. And kind of goes into my rating for earlier, but like This makes me excited for 2 because like I can tell the writing is just like so better, and weirdly enough, this kind of like retroactively hurt my opinions on like the other Ace Attorney 1 cases because this one was so good.
Dang. All right.
Like,
Remember, this is a post Ace Attorney 3 writing team writing this because this is
Oh.
between.
okay.
This is
Yeah.
there's references to Ace Attorney 3 in the case. I won't say what they are, but they're there. I recognize.
I looked up.
I guess I missed them.
The original games came out between like 2001 and 2004, and then I think the DS re-release came out in 2005.
2005.
And that was the first time it was available in the West.
Because Emma Sky's theme is called Turnabout Sisters 2005.
Yeah.
That's how I know it came out in 2005.
All right. Well, let's just get started in the case then. So we get a very high quality opening to this case where they show somebody, some silhouette stabbing somebody. They're already showing the power of the Nintendo DS immediately, and
This is in the completely fair contest of Ace Attorney 1. This is the best opening animation to a case in Ace Attorney 1.
Yeah, it's kind of not close. We get some lightning and stuff. You know, you see the blue badger there, introduced.
I love the blue badger.
I'm pretty sure he was introduced in the third case, or fourth.
He was introduced in Turnabout Goodbyes,
Yeah,
kind of.
Goodbyes. So kind of funny to see him back. And then yeah, that's pretty much it to set up the story. So we go into the investigation. First thing we're learning about is Phoenix is taking like a case for a while for some reason. I don't actually.
He's too
know
sad without a teenage girl to stand around during his investigation.
Oh, that makes it weird.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry.
I'm gonna make it weird.
Well, don't worry, Goomb. By the end of this case, he has a new teenage girl, Dick Gumshoe.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say no, she has, but
But
then you said Dick Gumshoe, and I'm like, yeah, that is true.
fortunately, a person shows up asking for Mia Fey, not him. They don't want Wright. They just want Mia Fey. And that person is Emma Sky, our new stand-in for the partner character this game.
Yeah.
Who has the same animations as Maya.
Literally the same sprite, which freaked me the flip out.
Okay, no, she
doesn't-
similar
animations.
things.
No, some of her animations are directly ripped, but there are some where it's different.
Her
She
and
has a new
the
theme.
other character.
Yeah.
She's just intentionally very similar to Maya in this case.
I think the first thing that stood out to me, especially as I was going through the first investigation, is for a 16-year-old, she's really dumb. Oh no. she doesn't
Yeah,
know
she's not
a
dumb.
lot
She
of
knows a lot
stuff.
about science. She's just naive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't
She's
know
not-
Maya. Yeah, she didn't know Maya was a girl's name.
Mia.
Okay.
Mia. Sorry.
Are we officially talking about her as a character?
Well,
Emma?
I think she says she knew. She just was like, oh well, I guess this is Mia when she met Phoenix.
Yeah, we're
She
just
goes,
talking
I
about
guess
Emma
Mia
in
is the
general,
girl's
you know.
name. I like her little bit she does a lot during the investigation days where she goes, note to self, and then she just writes something down. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
But this is not. I mean, spoilers. She's like the one Rise from the Ashes character who comes back in a big way, but this is not
Yeah.
the version of her that I like.
Okay, Goom. Was this a backdoor pilot for investigations?
No, because investigations was not planned this far ahead, and the person who wrote this case did not write anything for investigations.
Okay, I was just kind of wondering because, like, I don't know, knowing that. So, Allie, it's a bit of a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler to say this, but like, there's a series of games called Miles Edgeworth Investigations, and she is like your partner in crime in that case. So you
She's
play
not your
Edgeworth.
partner. She was supposed to be the protagonist, but the plans changed to make Edgeworth the protagonist, and then she has a minor role. There's a different teenage girl that.
Oh, never mind. I'm wrong.
I've actually
Her
played
new
those games.
teenage girl.
Okay, I have not
Also a
played.
minor.
All of these games need a
And also,
quirky
Gumshoe
girl.
is occasionally your teenage girl in those games, but
Oh boy.
Hey, pal.
But yeah, Emma is a stand-in for Maya, at least at the very beginning. Any other thoughts on Emma before we move on? I mean, we'll have more thoughts later, but of course.
The first thing I noticed about her was her rose-colored glasses, and I thought that immediately played out in her character.
Yeah, I didn't. The thing about the rose-colored glasses for me, and I didn't realize this until you actually do the luminol testing later on, was that it's literally just. Yeah, I don't know why she why she would have those on all the time. That's rough.
Yeah, I think it's like just a character choice, like to represent like her personality, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, that might not be an expression in Japan, so they just might have thought it looked cool.
Also true.
But not that it does work with that interpretation.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she just wears the forensics glasses for no reason.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the very first time you ever do luminol testing with her, she's like, I've never seen blood in person before. Or like this
Yeah,
much
she
of this.
carries her luminol bottle with her everywhere. If you examine it in a 3D model, she wrote her name on it in marker.
Yeah. But anyways, she went to the office because her sister has been detained for murder, and she's asking for somebody to go defend her. So you begrudgingly goes over there, and you meet Lana Sky.
Well, she was trying to get Mia because her sister was attracted to Mia intellectually. I mean.
Oh yes, that's right.
That's what she says.
I see. Yeah, they went to the same law school.
Yeah, they did.
But we meet Lana Sky, the sister of Emma Sky. I think Lana is worse than Emma Sky, but she's fine, I guess. She's holding a lot of secrets, at least at the beginning.
She wasn't the most interesting character for me, I gotta be real.
I mean, I think it's this is the first time, I guess, chronologically that you have a character. Well, no, wasn't Edgeworth in the trial in the case just before this saying that I shot the guy or something?
No, Edgeworth just said he didn't really know what happened. He said he killed his dad, but that's only on the last day.
He was saying he didn't want him as his attorney, or
yeah,
that's right.
He was saying he wanted him as his attorney, but he wasn't. Lana's pretty unhelpful as a defendant.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange that you're even able to defend her at all, because she is pretty gung-ho about being like, yep, I killed this guy. I don't really need a defense. So you're good, Phoenix.
Yeah.
You're kind of forced by Emma,
It's a Japanifornia law where you're allowed to defend someone against their will.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, I do know there are instances, like, it's not like a confession will just automatically shut down the investigation. Like, a confession is not, like, it wouldn't just end court if that, like, it would still need to be proven without a reasonable doubt.
But anyways, through some reasons or another, you end up defending Lana, and then you go over to the, what is it called? Crime scene, which is the police station. And once there, you meet another famous...
The crime scene is the garage of the prosecutor's office. It's the prosecutor's office and the police station are like 30 minutes away from each other.
Oh, that's right. My bad. You meet Jake Marshall, another wacky character. Definitely going for a cowboy aesthetic. Any thoughts on Jake Marshall?
I do like that they like seem to never address that he's a cowboy. I mean, they do, but like,
no, they do.
like no one asks him like why. Like
he just is.
Yeah,
it's normal.
That's not what I'm. I mean, that's not. I of course they acknowledge that. It just meant more like they don't ask him why. Is sort of what I said.
I think he's a queer allegory.
Huh?
I think he has a lot of trauma, and he tries to hide it behind being a cowboy.
Well, that's not true.
Maybe.
Yeah, even his brother was a cow. Even his brother was a cowboy.
Yeah, but he probably leans more into it.
He honestly looked indigenous kind of at the beginning. I was really hoping that he was, but the longer it went on, it kind of felt like that wasn't the case. But
I think he's just more of a cowboy wannabe because he mentions like watching TV, and that's where he gets some of his cowboy stuff from.
Yeah, but he also
Yeah.
teaches Emma very important words. Vittles, saloon, cerveza. That was the one thing I wrote down.
Yeah. He also says
although Emma already knows that.
Bambina a lot. Of his,
That's because he's a cowboy.
that he says.
I thought it was interesting that like that was the first time that like a sprite animation gets acknowledged. They're like, oh, where's his knife? And then he's like shaving his face with a knife, and he's like, oh, this.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of like another time that happened. Like it just was like, huh.
Well, I can think of more times that happens, just not in this game.
That was
Yeah.
a pretty cool detail.
But it was the first time I've ever noticed it, so yeah.
I feel like maybe the only other one that kinda is the same as that is when Manfred never really uses like his right arm that much, or like I don't know, and then he doesn't point it or anything. But
Well, he's very stiff in his animations,
yeah,
which is
Well,
kind
he's
of
also
probably
old.
yeah.
I'm old!
Old.
well now he's in jail, so
True. Rip. Like, what did he ever do? Besides
A lot.
the murders. And the forging evidence. And the...
yeah. Does he really deserve to be there? I don't know.
Yeah, like, come on. He's just a little guy.
But anyways, Emma and Wright go around and look for any evidence that they can look at without Jake Marshall stopping them. And eventually they bump into another character, Angel Star, a lunch seller, who will be very integral to this first day's trial. But what do we think about Angel Star?
Yeah, I don't know what Takami thinks about, like, the lunch, all the lunches she sells, but I do not find it as funny as he seems to.
Who?
Smash.
Oh.
Takami
And Smash
is the
for
creator
Marshall.
of Ace Attorney and the writer of, like, this case and pretty much every other case in the trilogy.
Yeah.
You ordered the shrimp testicles, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
The only one I can
basically her
remember-
shtick.
I can only
The
ever
squid
remember
wheels.
the squid wheels and then the fingerprint are like the only two I can ever remember.
The day-old lunch meat was funny.
I remember this meal she had that's like the crime scene meal where it's just a bunch of rice and then like some ketchup at the top as like blood. That's quite a
That one
meal.
was cute.
I felt like this is a weird complaint, but I felt like her sprite didn't really match her character. Like I don't know, I would have expected something a bit like maybe this is like a Japan thing, but like I was kind of expecting something a bit more formal, like informal that the lunch lady would wear. But I
Uh,
don't
She doesn't
know.
really want to be a lunch lady.
She's like a food truck.
Yeah, that's kind of I don't know.
I do like the little joke that they don't really ever point out, but she's like the good cop and the bad cop, and she flips over her hair whenever she's switching modes between good cop
Yeah.
and bad cop. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
She's got like multiple boyfriends, you know.
That's yeah.
Trying to play everybody, basically.
That's all
She's
part of her
got-
ploy, though.
Yeah.
She's got like 10 million boyfriends.
That's not the real her.
She's girl bossing.
Yeah, I mean, she's handing out like I don't know if they ever actually say that anybody's paying for any of these lunches, so she's kind of just handing them out.
I mean, she's kind of getting the money to make them from somewhere.
I don't know. I don't
She has
remember that. There is another
has a-
money thing that's mentioned quite a lot in this chapter, but at least for her lunches, I don't think it is.
She
has a
gives out like
contract
20
to-
during the trials.
Yeah.
So like,
She gives out the
I don't think she's charging
Caviar.
people in the middle.
caviar lunch to the judge.
I'm sad we missed the timeline where the judge was not one of her boyfriends.
Yeah, that's a sad ending.
Although it is established he has like a wife and grandkids, but like it still would have been funny.
Oh, maybe she's dead. Okay, Fluffy. We don't know. Maybe it's okay.
Time has passed.
I-
Time has passed.
I thought he has quotes talking about like his wife, implying she's very much alive. I don't think it happened in this
Listen,
game, but like
I can remember
I
some of
definitely-
the
saying
minor
her
details from Ace
spirit's alive.
Attorney. I can remember some of the things from Ace Attorney, some of the minor details. The things the judge says, they go like in one ear and out the other. Everything the judge says about his personal life is like never in my permanent memory. And I've played these games like 3 times each.
I know for sure he has grandkids. Whether or not the wife
Oh
is
yeah, I
still
know
alive
that
or
for
not
sure.
is,
He talks
is
about that a
different.
lot.
Yeah.
He has grandkids. Edgeworth doesn't. This is all things that are true.
But anyways, after meeting her, you talk a bit, and then you end up going to the High Prosecutor's office, where you run into Edgeworth, the man
Yeah, it's called the High
himself.
Prosecutor's Edgeworth because Edgeworth
Yeah.
has so much weed up there.
Yeah, you did just get a green
Oh, yeah.
statue, the King
Yeah.
of Prosecutors statue. Which is
It's
pretty
a little
cool.
shield.
He's not super
It's a
happy
little
about it
cringe
though,
award.
because this is the start of the thing they try and hammer home a ton during this case, which is something they only really talked about in like the second case of this game, which is all the rumors and stuff going around about Edgeworth. Like,
Well, they got
fabricating
worse
evidence
after
and
Turnabout
stuff.
Goodbyes.
Yeah, but this is just like a theme that they bring up a ton throughout this case, and I mean, it kind of makes sense with the next game in the series in mind. But
Yeah, they
get there
had
when we
the
get there.
difficult task when they were writing Rise from the Ashes of making sure that Justice for All still makes sense, but also having Edgeworth as the prosecutor.
Yeah.
And this is a consequence of that, is that Edgeworth has a very, very bad day.
Yeah, we kind of have to keep in mind for this writing that this is all like they're writing this with the future in mind. Like they already know how the series goes, so
Yeah.
they kind of need to make sure some stuff is kept consistent.
This kind of felt like a bit of a retcon for lack of a better word, because it's kind of like in his early, like in the very first case, he's kind of established as like a dirty prosecutor, and then like that doesn't get brought up, and this kind of felt like his whole character arc. This case kind of felt like addressing that and like moving on from it. It's like I was just kind of calling it a retcon. Like I don't know if retcon's the right word, 'cause like it didn't change anything. It kind of just addressed it. I don't know.
I mean, even in like Turnabout Goodbyes, they always say it was just rumors and that Phoenix is never really sure what was going on. So that's why I'm like, I never thought it like a big deal that it's like, oh, Edgeworth doesn't know about all the forgery stuff. Spoilers.
It's just kind of like it's a story thing they bring up, but they don't really do much with until this case.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just misread it, but like I always kind of assume like the updated autopsy was him like fudging with the evidence. Like, I could be just misinterpreting that, but like it was just a really bad look for him. But like I don't know. I kind of like picture like. I kind of figured like he starts out as a bit of a dirty prosecutor in the first case, and then like gets better as the game goes on. So like, but I don't know.
No, I can
Not
see
that-
I
that.
always took the updated autopsy report as like a real thing. It was just that he does it in a
Awful.
kind of scummy way to win the trial because that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
But as we all know, in the Ace Attorney system of law, surprise evidence is very legal.
Oh, that was one of my favorite parts. Like, okay, I don't know like how much of a format, like, I'm gonna bring this up while it's on my mind, but like, it's really funny that they mention like evidence law for like the first time I can remember, and like there are actually like consequences for like, oh, you got that from my office. Oh, like it's too late. This is like, it's just kind of like, where was that before?
Yeah, it's a little
Like-
bit jarring.
Especially because like I don't remember any other time they mentioned stuff like this. Or it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of funny. Also, they I did write, like I made a note where like subpoenas are mentioned, which means that like they could have just subpoenaed Red White, but I don't know. I will keep going back to like Dunk on Red White in that whole case because like I really didn't like that case.
Well,
I have something to share.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, was I
You
talking
guys
too much
don't
there?
ever stop talking. I'm sorry. I really am trying to share things. It's mostly a joke, but it would have been funny. They're clearing up that last red flag for the Yowie, between Phoenix and and Edgeworth, so that they can be happily in a relationship.
Aw.
Because no,
Wait,
yeah, I mean they were clearing his name basically.
What about Dick though? Like, who's Gum? Like, what about the Gum?
Dick?
What? Yeah, like what about Gumshoe Edgeworth Yowie? That's my
He's
preferred.
working for Phoenix now. That's a happy ending for him. He wasn't meant to be a detective. He was a really shit detective, honestly. We have to admit it.
I do
I
like
love him, but he's shitty.
I do like Emma's schoolgirl crush on Edgeworth. It comes mostly into play in this conversation, the first conversation in the office. I think it's very funny. Emma like is talking about how awful Edgeworth's car is, his like bright red sports car. She's like, "Whoever drives that must be a real stuck-up jerk." And then Edgeworth walks in while she's saying it. They continue talking. Emma's embarrassed because she like insulted her crush's car. And Edgeworth just goes, "I'll warn you, I've been known to be a real stuck-up jerk." It's a great line. Not my favorite line, but
There's
then-
Allie's Yowie moment.
and then if you
I did really love that one. Sorry.
And then if you look at Edgeworth's knife with Emma, she goes, "Edgeworth must use this to rough it up in the wild." And then Phoenix is like, "You really think Edgeworth does that?" Like just
that is
goes
an
off,
amazing
drives into the
image.
wilderness, and then spends time surviving alone in the wild with his knife.
Also, Bellboy, I know he come it's not me, but like I was happy seeing the Bellboy for like half a second.
Yeah, I'm really confused as to why he comes back. It's like he works for a very specific hotel still. I don't know why he's like delivering Edgeworth tea in the prosecutor's office. I guess he's doing.
got a job
Well, no,
on the
they-
side.
Well, no, they say he gets tea service from the hotel, so he
Oh,
get
dude,
like
I must have missed that line.
he get like it implies that they bring tea all the way from the hotel to his office, which is kind of funny to me.
You know what? Edgeworth has that kind of money. I can believe that. I mean, have you seen his car?
Yeah.
Mm.
But the Phoenix Edgeworth Yowie is interrupted by Mike Meekins appearing, the character that everyone loved because of his
I do.
amazing-
I love him.
Oh, Mike Meekins. What a guy, what a guy.
Okay, I was mostly just introducing him like that because he is considered annoying by some people. I don't consider him annoying, but his microphone sound effect that he brings to the table. But Mike Meekins is basically just Gumshoe, but even dumber. He's like a sub Gumshoe level. He actually looks up to Gumshoe. And much like Gumshoe, he immediately gets his salary cut. I was deleting all my previous notes for some reason, which I don't really know why. My notes, Meekins' salary cut ×1, and then I had to also write down that Gumshoe's current number was, which is still 4.
Great.
Wait, I wasn't there. I wasn't there for last episode. Did you guys? I didn't write down if you guys. I did replay the case, but I forgot to
Von
write down if you
Karma
guys
cuts
saw
his
it.
salary during the first day of the trial.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a great moment that happened. I'm pretty sure when you first meet Meekins, like after he leaves, I think Edgeworth said something along the lines of Meekins being absent on the day they were handing out brains. So rough. I also really like the chessboard in Edgeworth's room. I don't know how
Yeah.
Phoenix comes to the conclusion that one of the pawns, the blue pawn that is supposed to represent him, has spiky hair. I've never
It
seen a
just
pawn with
does. I didn't
spiky
draw it that
hair,
way, but it does canonically.
but that's just insane.
Isn't that how Emma described it though to him?
No, I think that was in Phoenix's head.
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
remember the
so I
exact
think about
dialogue. I know that Edgeworth has his Phoenix Edgeworth chess set.
He has a
Regardless,
Phoenix
that is
Edgeworth
also gay. That is very gay.
chest. Oh, boy. You got a red
Having
and
it be
blue
surrounded by
chest
red
set.
things. Damn.
Yeah. Okay, but after that, you move on, per Edgeworth's suggestion to the police department, and you encounter a machine, the dancing machine, everybody's favorite character, the Blue Badger.
This is the Blue Badger's coming out story as an Ace Attorney character. Where he was in the trilogy, but he didn't really do anything, and now he's here.
Yeah. Cool, right in your face, Blue Badger, and also one of the greatest little tidbits that you don't actually get to see. Apparently, Gumshoe is dancing with the Blue Badger right next to it.
Yeah, he's doing the Badger dance.
Yeah. That's how you first meet him in this case. And then he runs
How
up
can
to
you
you
not-
and says he's very busy.
How can you not love Gumshoe?
It's great. Let's see. But fortunately, you're able to get Gumshoe to write you a letter to let Marshall let you investigate the scene. So then you go do that, and you go back there, and you look at
Yeah, and you learn that police investigations are like settling land.
yeah, and you learn that Edgeworth
Yeah.
has a lot more money than you and also knows how to drive.
May I make a suggestion since it's a really long case? Maybe we shouldn't go through like a play-by-play and kind of just do it a bit more like, I don't know. Like, not
That's
saying
fair.
like we shouldn't go, like, I'm not saying we shouldn't go chronologically, but more just maybe we don't need the entire, like, oh, this is like, this happens to this, and like, like, just to kind of like speed it up a bit.
There is a lot to go through. Yeah, I could probably speed it up some. The only thing I'll say else about this case is I had a visceral reaction to finding the note that said 6-7 on it. So
I didn't.
The brain rot.
My brain
I
isn't
did
rotted
too.
enough. I'm sorry. I only have a visceral reaction when I see Limbus, not when I see these modern kids brain rot.
I get like cross pollination or like what's the word? I don't remember, but like I get all the brain rot from my brother, so unfortunately I did have that reaction.
I see. Okay. I can't exactly remember what thing it was found from. Maybe it was interacting with Gumshoe, but apparently he gets an annual bonus of $20.
I did not. I must have missed that.
Yeah, his annual yearly bonus is $20, which is great.
Yeah.
It's just great. All right.
Now since this is written like at the very end of the trilogy in 2005, when Trials and Tribulations is 2004, you have the slightly dumber Gumshoe and the Judge than in the rest of the Ace Attorney one.
Yeah. Okay, but after that, pretty much we move on to the first trial, which is actually split up into a former and then a ladder.
Yeah,
because
this
it's
is
so
something
long.
that's more common in later Ace Attorney than in Ace Attorney 1, but every single day in this case, because the case is so long, is multiple things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right before we get to the trial, I will say that like I do think it's okay. I guess it is at the start of the trial. Now that I think about it, that like it's just like the victim was found in my car, and then like even the court, what's the actual word for it? The gallery is
Yeah,
like,
gallery.
well, why is this guy the prosecutor? It's just kind of funny. Like I feel like in most like in real life you would never be the prosecutor for that if your car was the crime scene.
Well, I mean, if you want to discuss why all that was happening, there's a pretty good reason for why like the victim was found in Edgeworth's car stabbed with Edgeworth's knife.
Oh no! I know why it happens. He
Yeah.
has an alibi and all that. It's just kind of like, but even if he had like an alibi, I just feel like they wouldn't make like. I know, like, I don't know. I'm just rambling now.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he shouldn't like. In the actual legal system, he wouldn't have been prosecutor.
Yeah, but I think almost all of his trial day is just Angel Star.
Yeah.
It's
Yep. The entire
No,
former is Angel Star, and I think a bit of the end as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of Angel Star talking trial day.
The cough of Queen.
It's
Yeah.
also where Gant introduces himself in the first trial.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? Shoot, I had some. Oh well, I don't remember.
That's okay.
I do like the Angel Star's second testimony because Phoenix gets cucked out of his objection twice. Edgeworth just steals his thunder both times because Angel Star spends like so much of her testimony arguing with Edgeworth.
Yeah, I had written down that I like how no one acknowledged that Phoenix made objections.
Yeah, that happens twice during the second testimony, and during the first one when Edgeworth is stealing Phoenix's thunder, Emma just goes, "What a hunk!" Phoenix is sitting
That's
there.
so
like,
real. Sorry.
So sad for Phoenix that he doesn't get to say anything.
Yeah, but mostly this trial day is pretty normal. There's two like, I think there's two actual last minute objections that happen, which is, I mean, it's all right, I guess. It's how these games go, but I'm pretty sure they happen like one after the other, so kind of weird.
Fuji.
I took a couple screenshots of quotes that I just found funny. Phoenix saying you can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Edgeworth saying in response to her, "I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie."
I felt
Yeah.
very Allie character for him. I wrote that one down too, though.
There's also the judge just saying, people often mistake my beard for a bib in the middle of the trial.
Yeah, a lot of food related stuff in this one.
Yeah.
Emma with her notes to self. One of them, Mr. Edgeworth's sighs smell like citrus fruit. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Oh. And then also I just took a screenshot of Angel saying sus, because that's funny.
Yeah. They are very important to the end of this case. They bring up evidence law for the first time ever in Ace Attorney. When at the end of Angel Star's testimony, where she's been decredited slightly as a witness because there's a massive 5-minute gap because she was running all the way through the parking lot so she could climb over a fence to go do a citizen's arrest.
Yeah.
But she stole the victim's shoe off of his body before the investigators could get to it because she doesn't trust any of them. And then Edgeworth goes, "You can't accept this. This is just some random thing a person took." And she goes, "No, it's relevant to the case at hand, which is apparently the only thing that matters. The attorney." And Edgeworth goes, "She's right. Dang it."
You do have to wonder, like, how that interview with her and Edgeworth went. Like, I imagine she was just, like, hiding everything, like her hatred of prosecutors and all that, and then just let it fly during the, like, actual trial.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal conflicts within this trial part.
Although,
yeah.
Wait, like, Edgeworth and, like, the prosecution still prepare the witness, like, before, right? Like, they do that in these games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they actually
they took a recess every time. Sorry.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if that's, like, something they do in the game or not. I kind of forgotten.
Yeah, the prosecutor prepares the witness and is in charge of the investigations that the detectives do. I think this is like I think it works this way in Japan thing, where I don't actually know, but I just kind of assume it does, where they're kind of in charge of the police. At least in terms of, like, when they're investigating cases.
We also get the introduction of Damon Gantz in this trial ladder. What a funny guy.
So, I had written down, like, I'm just gonna, like, Damon Gant, like, when, like, he just sounded like Mole Man from Smiling French. He's like, "Oh my god, like a nice, honest objection." And then, like, when the judge says, "What's going on?" He said, "When honest, what's going on?" Like,
he's a fan.
Yeah, he's a mega fan. And also, like, I was telling this to Ziggy, when he said Udgy, like, I know it says, oh, that's just his nickname. For some reason in my head, I was like, oh, he's German. And so for the rest of the case, I just gave him a German voice, and it fit pretty well, especially when he's like, "Oh, schwimming," like, like, going schwimming was very funny to me. I guess
I do think
more
it's mildly funny how Gant's nickname for the judge comes from the word judge because no one knows his name.
Yeah.
Isn't his age always question mark?
Yeah, no one knows how old he is either.
I like to imagine that, like he just came with the courtroom.
He just appeared one day.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Good Place at all? He's
No.
like their Janet.
That's funny. Damn it.
I think
I do think a bit of the intrigue of the case is lost when like the first time you see Gant, he's immediately pulling out his massive smirking sprite. I
Yeah.
think they probably should have saved that one for a bit later.
I think he makes an impression right away. I really like.
Oh yeah, he does.
I really like his whole thing with just standing there, like blinking his
Staring at
eyes,
you.
and then the music slowly fading out. I feel like that's
Yeah.
super iconic. One of the most iconic things any of the characters did in the entire case.
I agree with that.
So I just
Also,
love that about him. Also,
the
his obsession with
implication-
swimming.
I know this is, like, later in the case, but, like, the implication, like, he plays his own theme music is really funny to me. Because of the organs in his office, and, like, it, like, his theme kind of sounds like DS organs. Like it's just kind of funny to me.
Yeah. Yeah, certain characters. I think there's like 3 or 4 themes for specific characters in this case, which is pretty cool. So.
Wait, there was Marshall, Gant. Who else had their own theme?
Emma.
Oh, yeah.
I guess
yeah,
they
Emma.
couldn't really play Maya's theme though, so. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a remix of Maya's theme, or it might not be, but in my head it is because it's called Tournament of Sisters 2005. I don't actually know if it is. I can't really. Who knows? Not me.
Anyways, if that's everything everyone has to say about the trial first day, we can move on.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
Meekins, you work in the detention area?
So basically, this next investigation day is introducing you to a bunch of stuff with like luminol, and then also the evidence room, and doing a bunch of wacky puzzle stuff in there, like rebuilding a vase.
Yeah, but the whole like thing where it's like, oh, there's a second murder in the evidence room. It's like, I don't know. Even when I first played the case, I'm like, come on, do they really think this is what's happening? It's like, I've always just found it like immediately obvious. It's like, oh, just somebody took his card and went in. They don't even have a body. I don't understand like why Gant walks in and is like, oh, there was a murder here. I wish it was something that Phoenix brought up as like a Hail Mary to like save his bacon on the first day. I feel like that would work a lot better. That's like my one major complaint with like the first day overall, is that I don't like that. Especially like at least when you're examining the evidence room, there's intrigue then, because they're trying to figure out exactly what went on with the. It's really obvious no one died the entire time.
Yeah.
I think things are kind of weird when they don't immediately question like the 777 ID on the card reader thing. I feel like that isn't
That's
really...
no name.
Yeah, that isn't really brought up early enough.
They say it's an executive that they can't look into.
Mm.
So they probably knew that.
Yeah, I guess within the game it's not that important, but like as a player, it's pretty obvious that it's going to have importance.
Yeah.
If they put it on your actual evidence and they haven't like board it or anything.
Besides, like the whatchamacall, oh, like his really like his smiling animations. Gant is just like so sus this entire time. Like it's so obvious. Like the police department's like playing hardball, and it's like, why are they doing that? Like something's weird's going on here.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna bring this up now before I forget, but like we were talking about like how Mia is like Emma and Emma and what's the one who did it? Like what are the sisters' names? I'm blanking.
Mia
Emma and
Maya.
No, the 2 sisters in this case.
Oh, Emma and Lana.
Oh yeah, Emma and Lana are like stand-in for the Fae sisters. So I think Gant is actually like a stand-in for Red White, and he's a much better executed Red White. Like he has the whole like blackmail and like he feels like Red White, but like actually like the idea of like, oh, he's a blackmailer who controls everything. And like, and you can actually feel how he controls everything instead of Red White, where it's like, oh, he controls everything. Show me how he controls everything. Oh, because I control everything. Like,
I don't know if I ever said that. I do know his design is based off of Zeus, if you want some fun Ace Attorney trivia.
Oh, that's funny. But at least that's how I interpret it. He just seemed like a much more, like, better implemented version of this, like, master blackmailing guy. Because you can actually, like, see the consequences of how he blackmails people, as opposed to Red White, where all you really get is the painting being stolen.
I can see that, yeah.
It wasn't stolen, it was a gift to his lover.
I mean, obviously, I think Gant is way better than Red White.
Oh, that's a really low bar.
I think most people would say that, but
Oh, what Tenor would have you believe.
No.
Yeah, that one guy on Tenor who really does not like Damon Gant.
Definitely the best villain of the first game, if you can count him as part of the first game, since he's retroactively added.
I still like Manfred von Karma as a villain more. I think Damon Gant has better animations and better character design, but I think I like Manfred just a bit more overall.
Yeah, and I'm getting ahead. I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but yeah.
It's pretty
I just
close
like
for
Gant
me,
a lot.
but
He was a very good.
Gant having his own theme, and also just like I feel like
Manfred has his own theme, just not Ace Attorney 1. Spoilers.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. So it is not an Ace Attorney 1.
Yeah.
So just the novelty of like.
But also in Ace Attorney 1, they don't really have character-specific themes at all. Like Edgeworth doesn't even have his own theme in Ace Attorney 1.
Okay.
Gumshoe does, but like Penny Nichols uses it in 1-3 for some reason. And then that's it. I guess Grossberg, but also Larry Butts uses it at one point, so. Anyway.
And then
the big thing about day 2 is that Emma gives you the luminol for the I think she gives it to you when you go back to the crime scene and you can spray it around and find blood on the
under the car.
Under the car and on the phone. Yeah. I don't know if those are like necessary triggers to advance the case. I don't know what the triggers are because this is the day that I got stuck, so therefore it is my least favorite day of the case.
Yeah, I think I remember that this is when like teenage Zach got stuck and gave up on this case.
The good thing about this case is that being able to spread luminol everywhere is fun, even though I don't really think there's any blood you can find outside of the crime scenes, except for on Jake Marshall's cactus, Billy. There's blood on the top of Billy because somebody got poked real hard.
Oh wow, I did not know about that at all.
Yeah, I mean it's something that you kind of have to be like told because like you're not gonna like spray luminol everywhere unless you know that like as far as I know it's just Billy, but I could have just missed it. I was looking for other ones, which is why I'm saying that.
That's the only other one that I saw through the playthrough.
Oh, okay.
But you also get to go back to criminal affairs. You get to meet the chief. You get confirmation that the Blue Badger is scarring his young daughter.
Yeah.
Because he keeps showing her the Blue Badger and she's like crying about it. He also is currently in despair because he gave confidential news about the murders at the police station and prosecutor's office to a random old lady at a restaurant that he was at. Which I think this case really does confirm that the chief is just like Gumshoe if he had like real power.
Yeah.
Making me real like Gumshoe's actually not been stupid this entire time. He's like actually the best of the force.
Gumshoe is useful, kinda.
I feel like my judgment of Gumshoe is like skewed by that one scene where he like shoots the mafia. But I like him.
Yeah. Well, I have a few
Probably,
more things about this investigation, Dave, but before I go, does anyone else have anything else they want to say about the investigation on day 2?
I feel like we've already passed my favorite quotes, so would now be a good time to say that?
Yeah.
Okay. They're both about Marshall. Kind of. Where are they? They're both cacti themed. You know what dreams the cacti out in the desert dream? You wanna? And if you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. Which I think Phoenix says actually, but it's inspired by Marshall. I believe so. Those were 2 very iconic lines to me, and I hope to integrate them into my vocabulary.
Yeah.
I think he might say the cacti out of the desert thing during the Marshall testimonies during day 2.
Maybe.
I see.
I don't remember. I don't have a.
Oh yeah.
I like Marshall's.
Marshall.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
I liked Meekins a lot, where he was like, "Sir, murderer reporting, sir."
Oh yeah.
Like Meekins was amazing. He was like my
I
goat.
love Meekins.
I do think out of all the witnesses in the case, Meekins is the very much. Oh, we're making this case extra long. We gotta have one guy who's just kind of here, but I do like him.
There was just.
I like Meekins' damage animation a lot, where he like I don't remember exactly how the way his all his accessories are set up because the character designs are much more complex in Rise from the Ashes than they are in other games. Another Ace Attorney 1 and other DVA games. I'm trying. They're like on the level of the other DS games, and which I'm not used to because we're playing GBA stuff. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But his damage animation where he what even is happening? Hang on, I gotta look at this again.
He's like pulling
really
his
like-
neck or something.
Yeah, it is a fun
Mixed
sound
condition.
effect, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm just bad at words.
Do you like the implication they let him keep the megaphone in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a
It's part of him. It's his uniform.
his handcuff gets stuck on his lanyard. His handcuff is tied to his own wrist, and then he tugs on his. He like tries to move his arm to the side, and he like ends up choking himself. That's his damage animation.
I think during the trial he mentions 3/4 of the time his tie gets stuck in the car door, and then the other 1/4 of the time it's his lanyard that gets stuck.
This is the trial, but like when he meant this was my favorite quote. That's one of my favorite quotes where he says, "I'm a little lost patrolman, sir, like a lost little lamb," and he keeps repeating it.
Meekins is what a guy.
Yeah.
Okay, two more things before I guess we get full into that trial day that I wanted to say. On this investigation day, I think it's the first time Gant mentioned something about if somebody wanted $50 from me, I'd give them $50. And then later on, Gumshoe, all excited is like, "Oh boy, I heard Gant's giving out $50." But actually,
what he does is he says to Phoenix, "Is it true what the chief says?" And Phoenix says, "Yeah." And she says, "So he'll give even me $50?" Or no, he says, "So he'll give anyone $50 if they ask, even me."
And there's also a line where Gumshoe says like, "Hey pal, if you need money, go to Gant."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, the $50 thing actually already came up early in the case, because if you show Emma your badge, she starts analyzing it and then says like, "I'll give you $50 for this." So for some reason, this case is just obsessed with $50.
And then Santa Claus gave Emma $50.
Yeah. And the final thing I wanted to say about the investigation is when you're in the evidence room, I don't remember exactly. I think it's when you present this to Gumshoe, but he says the very deep line: "Since the dawn of time, true art has been a war against oppression," in reference to the blue badger thing he made.
Gumshoe's the one who made the dancing blue badger.
Yeah.
Gumshoe had some like really deep philosophical lines where like he's like, "Hey, blame society, pal."
Yeah.
Like,
Gumshoe's 7 weapons are just being stored in the evidence room.
Yep. Just cause.
Except for Missile. Missile isn't there.
Oh yeah.
But the little bug boxes, which might be able to be useful one day.
Maybe. See. After that, we have the trial former and latter, where we spend a bunch of time watching a video over and over again to point out contradictions with it. 3D video, in fact. Holy cow! The power of the
Did you know
Nintendo
the DS can have 3D models?
Yeah.
that was the okay. I just want to say like it wasn't like a quote per se, but like that was the funniest moment of the trial, watching that video and then seeing like everyone's reactions. Like, what the fuck was that? Like? That might have been.
What actually comes from everyone's reactions to the video, which is Edgeworth going, "What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?" Such a good reaction.
But seriously, what was it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I know what it is, but
It
like,
doesn't even look like a badger.
he did
It's
a
a
really
blue
bad
badger.
job. He did a great job with the supplies he had, but why did they put him in charge of that? They're like literally giving him the busiest of busy work.
Well, it's what the blue
It's
badger
my poor
looks
boy.
like. If you look in the
No, I
it
see the
looks like what
plushie.
Yeah, it looks like what the blue badger looks like. I don't know what the problem is. It's the blue badger.
My belief is that who was it that they said inspired the, or no, that they were confused about it. It was the chief of police, who had like drawn up the blue badger thing. He had probably seen the evidence before, right?
Yeah, that's the intent. Is that it was accidentally, Emma accidentally created it as a result of like things that are revealed in day 3 of trial. But
Yeah.
So it is very ugly, but it's got insane lore.
It's
Yeah.
got a
That's, like,
funny
jumping ahead
song
too
that
much, but-
haunts my dreams.
they did
played
do
it so
something
much.
fairly smart with the 3D video, where Meekin's character design is so weird that like the uncanny valley effect, where like, the bad DS 3D models doesn't really affect it. Like I remember thinking, wow, Meekin's model looks pretty good. Because like Meekins is so cartoony that like it doesn't the McDonald's quality 3D models don't bother me. I don't know.
I posted the GIF in VCN.
Yeah, and then also the Blue Badger covers up like 50% of the screen, which also helps make the low quality of the models less obvious. I do like the atmosphere though with the Blue Badger dancing. All this massive fight goes on. Fun. Pretty ominous.
Yeah.
Found footage. Cam would,
Did you like
Cam
the
would love
music?
this.
Yeah, the
I
music
love
is
the
kind of
Badger
eerie.
song. The Blue Badger song is called like "Let Me Protect You" or something like that.
Oh,
That's really cute.
I love him.
Yeah. Meekins also introduces himself as if his occupation is, "My occupation would be murderer, sir." We kind of skipped ahead. I just wanted to say that. I wanted to do flashback, you know?
It's okay.
To be fair,
Yeah.
we do need to speed run this if
Yeah,
Allie
yeah,
needs
but
to
anyway,
go in
you,
like half an hour.
So basically,
25 is my cutoff.
you go all through all that stuff with Meekins, and then you eventually get to the point where you can call up Marshall, and you go through the whole song and dance with him.
Yeah. And then you manage to eventually prove that Marshall was the sussy man whose ID broken. Marshall's kind of dumb and doesn't know how the technology that he's in charge of
Yeah.
works. And that is his undoing in court.
We trained him bad as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he was not very invested in that job.
And then honestly, probably one of the coolest endings to Trial Day, in any of the games I played at least, is Lana admits to like forging evidence or whatever, and you have this super special court being extra loud. Sound effect happening, and then the judge can't quiet them down, so the day just ends.
There are 2 bits of Marshall's testimony that I do want to at least mention. This is the second time I took damage. I go through all the dialogue first, and then I start thinking. And I don't actually remember the solutions to the puzzles. I just go through them in my mind. I only remember the solutions to the really bad ones, but I didn't think to present Marshall's fingerprints because Phoenix misled me. He goes, "Oh, I gotta save my good evidence for later."
That is
I go, "Oh, okay, so I
exactly
must
what
not
happened to
present
me. That is, he
Oh my
was
God.
like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't go out guns blazing yet. I need to save my trump card. And then it's like, nope, the answer is just to use your trump card immediately.
Yeah.
You sound smart.
Yeah, so
Well, to be fair, he mentioned the trump card was like how he would bring Marshall to the stand. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I was misled.
Yeah, no, that 100% happened to me, though. And I played this case before, so like, what the heck?
Yeah, and then right before Marshall breaks down at the end of his testimony, before he like confesses, Phoenix's like final thing is, "Now respond to my claims in 1 word or less, or in 8 words or less." Then Marshall just goes, "I only got 1 word for you, pal." No. He does his breakdown where he reacts as if he got shot really dramatically, Wild West style. It's a good breakdown animation.
Yeah.
I will say, like, if we're rating like the breakdown animations, in this case it's Gant.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Like becoming a demon momentarily.
Yeah.
Is that something we've been rating the whole time? Because we should.
I
think we've
haven't
been
been,
talking about
but
them.
yeah.
I'll probably talk about it again at the
Just
end of the
mention
case because
it.
that's a really good one.
Yeah.
But
How about we move on to the investigation?
yeah,
next
so
week?
Lana
Yeah.
Unless anyone
Lana
else
talks
has
about
anything
how
else to say about the trial. Nope. All right.
Lana talks about how the Joe Dark trial SL9 evidence was fabricated, but luckily the chief of police already knew. He just never said anything. He was like, "I always thought that this evidence was fabricated." And then Phoenix just goes, "So what exactly did you do about it?" in his head or something. I don't remember exactly what it is, but like it is once again reiterated the district chief, whatever his job is, he sucks at it. I'm still a bit confused as to his exact position. I think he's just in charge of criminal affairs department, but he is really bad at his job.
Yeah, I don't exactly know either. And he's just the old man that. looks
Yeah.
up
So the
crazy
entire
stuff on his
investigation
computer.
3-day is you gotta get into Gant's room because you want to see if you want to get like the dirt that's been hidden about SL9. So it's getting into Gant's room, boss stage ? We kind of just walk between Edgeworth and Gumshoe until eventually you get Edgeworth's note that he's planning on leaving. And Gumshoe's like, "I will let you into Gant's room now." But there is actually a minor mistranslation that might affect how people. When Gumshoe was telling the Gant story, I mean the Joe Dark story, where he hit one guy with his car, and then he was trying to get rid of all the evidence, and somebody saw him, so he killed that person, and then he was trying to get rid of both of them, and then somebody saw that. It just kept happening until he killed 5 people. What Gumshoe says is that he turned himself in the English version. This is not true. What the intent is that he went in for voluntary questioning, and then they held him. That's why he tries to run out again later. He did not have like a string of conscience.
Yeah, that is a pretty big mistranslation here.
Yeah, he went into for voluntary questioning, and then they held him because they thought he was the killer, which is pretty accurate. He was the killer.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. That's an awful. That's an awful.
Yeah, that's like the one. Most of the mistranslated lines were cleaned up in the various re-releases, but that's one of the ones that has stayed in. Oops. But you also get the fun little bit where Edgeworth explains the King of Prosecutors trophy, and then the trial music plays in the middle of Edgeworth's explanation.
It was funny that like Phoenix just randomly has objection during the middle of this.
Yeah, he was very invested, and then Edgeworth goes, "Well, you already knew this, of course." Phoenix goes, "Yeah." In his head, well, he doesn't actually say that, but
that is like another funny like Japanifornia thing where if like this takes place in the U.S., like yeah, everyone knows this ancient Chinese myth, like.
Well, one of my favorite things about the investigation day is when you're trying to distract Edgeworth from the note that Emma is trying to pick up, and he says, "Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window out there? Oh no, he's gonna fall!"
And then like Edgeworth is just staring at you.
He's like, "Why is this young girl rummaging around under my desk?"
Yeah.
He just doesn't have any problem whatsoever with you getting that note.
I don't know how everyone else felt about the Gantt room investigation, which is like the bulk of the trial. I like how it plays Gant's theme the entire time while you're in there. He really does have aura.
Yeah. It's cool. It's just like, it's one of those few moments in the games where you feel like you're doing something, not legal.
I did
breaking the rules.
You can go ahead.
Because like seriously, the entire time they are doing things that are illegal, like, and not being stopped. Like half the time they're saying like, "Ooh, we're an attorney, we shouldn't be snooping around," and no one does anything about it. Like this entire like country and their politics and their government system, like everything seems messed up.
It's yeah, it could be a little better.
What is wrong with Japanifornia? Seriously.
Nothing's wrong with Japanifornia. It's a perfect country. Listen, as we
The
all know,
police are corrupt.
There are 2 crimes in Japanifornia. There's murder, and then there's wiretapping, which is an entirely different crime, as established by Edgeworth. Because that's what he says.
Yeah.
This is true.
That's something I stole off of Reddit. Somebody was talking about how there's only murders in Japanifornia. I said, no, there's also wiretapping.
Hey, there's grand larceny in the third game, which eventually.
Well, that hasn't happened yet. There's no larceny yet in Japanifornia.
You don't consider that. Okay. Anything else about this investigation day before we move on to the final trial?
Yeah. There was a bit of discussion outside of the podcast about not knowing that it's called a muffler. Gumshoe says on this day of investigation that it's even more mysterious if it's called a scarf or a muffler, so he agrees with you.
Okay.
Also, at the end, Gant finds you snooping around in his office, and I don't know, I guess he just like interrogates Emma. I don't really know what he does, but he also fires Gumshoe, so like Gumshoe's salary cut.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, Gumshoe has had his salary cut 4 times and is fired once. But
does this mean we like for future games we reset the count, or like
no?
Nah, he gets
We add a new additional count.
So.
I don't know. I don't remember if Gumshoe gets fired again, but I'm definitely keeping.
I don't remember either. I just thought this investigation day was awesome, though. Definitely the best one, in my opinion.
It's definitely the best investigation day in the case.
I was getting, like, when Gant discovers you in his office, I was really expecting him to, like, break out the taser or, like, beat Phoenix up again.
No, he doesn't take anything from you. Gant is,
yeah.
This is, they've learned not to, like...
Gant has aura. He just lets you leave. But he questions Emma, but...
Yeah.
To be fair, he is the police chief, and, like, I don't know, like,
Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if like the police chief like killed someone in the police room? That's insane.
Yeah.
That would never happen.
All right.
I meant just
But,
more like he does. I meant just more since he's the police chief, he doesn't need to beat you up. Is what I was trying to get
yeah,
at.
I know.
Yeah.
We move on to the trial. Last day, split up into 3 parts. That long. So much
It's
stuff to
very
go
good.
through. First things first. Let's see. You talk to Lana, and then she doesn't want to do anything. I think is what happens. So then you gotta talk to Emma. And this is actually where I died because I couldn't figure out what to do.
Oh, I never took damage for the entire rest of the case. I'm sorry, Ziggy.
Yeah,
That was not my experience.
it was.
I took that
very
I took
sad.
I took like a bunch of damage and then like just made a save point, and so like I was.
I'm
fine.
not gonna say I never messed up a puzzle because there's definitely a puzzle I messed up, but they know that puzzle damage. But I think the Emma testimonies are probably the hardest part of the case overall, but that might just be
Yeah.
because they have the worst part of the case in them. I don't know. You get the fun yaoi evidence list where you form Emma's drawing together out of the 2 halves of evidence that Phoenix has one, Edgeworth has the other.
This was one thing that irked me a bit about the trial. I kind of find it really hard to believe that Edgeworth never turned over his side of the evidence list to see the drawing.
Because he didn't have a teenage girl telling him he could turn things around.
I'm like, okay.
I mean, if you remember,
There's no way this is the very first time he's seeing this.
I mean, you have to remember, at the beginning of the case, Phoenix had to be told by Emma that he could move things around with his hands, so canonically, this is something that teenage girls have to tell adult men, is that they exist in a 3D space and they can move objects.
Edgeworth was still in the GBA, so he couldn't flip it over. Phoenix told me he was on DS now.
Yeah, but
this is also around the point in the just case in general where the evidence list is growing extremely large. This is way more evidence than we've ever had in any other case. It's kind of insane. I think the final total
like 2 bars worth.
Yeah, the final total ends up getting to like 4 different screens. So
yeah, it's 4 pages, but the last page only has 1 thing at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is more evidence in other cases that just gets gotten rid of it that like doesn't happen in this one. Like there's multiple evidence cleaning sessions during Turnabout Goodbyes, and there aren't in this case. There aren't any, I don't think. But it honestly might be one of the longest final
trials.
I mean, this is like, yeah. But once you form your yaoi list, the Blue Badger returns. Edgeworth is traumatized. The judge is traumatized. Phoenix is traumatized.
Yeah.
They're all shook by that video.
The positioning of the jar into the Blue Badger was one of the objections I remember the most about this case.
That's one of the things I remember the most as well. When I was alluding to the puzzle that I failed a lot, that's the one, baby!
Wow.
That is way too precise, in my opinion. I always have so much trouble getting that into the position at once. It's really weird, because I was thinking, this time, I'm like, I really think that in later Ace Attorney cases, they would have just rotated it for you. But they were so hyped to be on the DS, they had to make you do it, you know?
Yeah.
It rotated, idiot.
We also have during the recess after the first time, you get handed the evidence law book, which is definitely not going to be important at all. They just kind of have it show up. Yeah, definitely won't use it later.
Yeah.
But this is where they really start to using the evidence law, and I think this is also where you finally have your testimony with Gant.
Yeah, before when you finish the Blue Badger rotating puzzle, Phoenix even says, "Is this a miracle or what?" And I agree, Phoenix. It is a miracle, and I finally said this stupid puzzle. That's in my notes.
Nice.
Is that Phoenix says that. It's very ironic because it does feel like a miracle because it takes so long to do.
Yeah.
You also get to do the fun, before the Gantt testimony, you present the shard from Gantt's secret jar in his secret office safe that Phoenix broke into. And you show that the dying message left by the victim was Emma. That's another puzzle that is also scarred into my brain because I, much like Fluffy, originally played this game on the iOS trilogy version, which is the worst way to play the trilogy because there are several more typos and glitches than in any of the early. I don't understand how. One of those glitches is that the Emma line drawing puzzle has to be done in a hyper-specific order, otherwise. So
that's weird.
The dialogue where for you failing that puzzle, which is this is the message from the deceased, and the judge just goes, "This is the message from the judge."
Wow.
My brain. I never saw it this case, but I remember it. It's a good one. That's why I had to bring it up.
I did not see it either.
I got it pretty quickly.
But you basically fall into the whole accusing Emma of the murder of Neil Marshall, which is what Atlanta was trying to avoid the entire time. And then Gantt takes the stand.
Oh man.
Oh,
Gantt takes the stand with his famous theme.
Yeah.
And then you beat the evidence out of him until he invokes his right to not testify, because that's just something that the chief of police has for some reason and is allowed.
I'm going to get ahead of myself. Gantt does say he will punish Gumshoe during his testimony, even though Gumshoe was already fired, but whatever. But I did not count that as a Gumshoe salary cut, because Gantt is the killer of this case, and he is arrested before he can do anything. Therefore, there was no time to cut Gumshoe's salary.
Okay, that's good that you brought that up, because I was actually trying to remember where I took this screenshot from, and I think it is that exact moment. Phoenix says something along the lines of, if Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, that is at that moment.
Yeah.
Does that mean
You
he
luckily
didn't
prevent
get
that from happening, and Gumshoe's salary will... Surely.
Does that mean he doesn't get fired, he just gets demoted?
Gumshoe, I think, just gets his old job back. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he gets his old job back. That he says in the credit, well, at the end of the credits of this case, he says that nothing ended up happening because if they punished him any further, I don't remember exactly what he says. I think he says he'd be paying them or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they repeat the idea that Gumshoe's salary has been cut so far that he'd have to start paying if anything gets worse.
How does this man live? Jeez.
Off of instant noodles, we know this.
I am like, it is sad we didn't get to see Gumshoe work for Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's also just the idea of him, like, I found my new job, it's working for you, like, just like asserting it, like.
Yeah. But at this point in the trial, it is very obvious that Gantt is the killer, and everyone besides the judge, who is old friends with Gantt, is pretty much on that page. The judge does say at one point, "It seems you're determined to accuse the chief of being a nice person who loves Lynn." When you're like talking about Gantt, setting up the crime scene to frame Joe Dark for the murder of Neil Marshall.
Yeah, that was my
stupid.
that was my favorite line. I couldn't decide between that or the one where he's like, "Are you suggesting such a formidable man likes to play with dolls?"
Oh yeah, the puppet
someone
line.
forced to do his bidding.
Right.
Never mind.
Yeah, the famous puppet line.
And then when it becomes like really clear that Gantt's the killer, but not like where he's 100% in the coffin of being the murderer, the judge just goes, "No, wait, I'm not the one on trial here." Another good moment.
Yeah. The first
Yeah,
judge breakdown.
Yeah, but as Ziggy said, Gantt has his ill-defined police chief powers that just let him say, "I don't want to testify anymore," and then he just can walk away. So he goes to have lunch. But he does remind Lana that if she says anything, that her sister will go to jail, which Lana does not want. And therefore, the final boss of the case is Lana, your own client, who has been very uncooperative the entire case.
Yeah. And you have to...
It's hard for me to... Yeah.
You gotta get the truth out of her. Basically.
Yeah.
You tickle her.
Sure, whatever
Something
you
like
say,
that.
honey.
Hmm?
But after you do all the Lana stuff, you do Lana's testimony. I'm gonna do like the Spark Notes version, so we're out of time. It becomes clear that Gant, not only did Gant kill Goodman because Goodman was poking into SL9, he was also the last killer of SL9 because he killed Neil Marshall as a triple gambit to one, arrest Joe Dark because he does want to see justice done, and then two, gain power over both the police and the prosecution office by having Lana act as his pawn in the prosecution office, doing whatever he wants, so that he doesn't point out the truth that Lana thinks. Well, what Lana thinks is the truth, that Emma was actually the one who killed Neil Marshall. And that becomes clear at the end of the case. But Gant runs in again and goes, I might be able to testify, but I can present evidence. I don't have the evidence, though. Spiky Hair does. He doesn't actually say that, but I don't remember what he calls right. Let me just say Righto, which is his nickname for right.
That is what he calls him.
Yeah, but this is the most hype and aura moment of Rise from the Ashes, where if you do this puzzle entirely correct, it is the most hype thing ever. This is what I was talking about when I said turnabout goodbye. This is why it should have, because it gets so hype when you end on the best part. When you end on like the most hype objection. So obviously, so what Phoenix does canonically, you don't present anything. Gant then says, "Oh well, there's this cut off section of the victim's vest that I cut off myself because I was the first one to the scene, and Wright should present it because he knows whose fingerprints are on it. So you present it, you show the unbloodied section of the vest, and you show Emma's clear fingerprints. Everyone, including Lana, thinks that this means that you're just going like, oh yeah, Emma's the murderer. But then Phoenix just has his hype moments where he goes, well, don't you remember this photo that came up also on the last day of the trial that Lana took of Neil Marshall's dead body? Look at all the blood all over his vest. Isn't it funny that there's no blood all over this section? Obviously would be.
Yeah, they're very cool.
And then this means that the only one who could have possibly killed Neil Marshall is Damon Gant himself, thanks to the evidence that he himself hid for his insurance.
Evidence.
And then, yeah, and then Gant does his funny electrocution sprite. Not his breakdown yet, because there's one more bit where Gant tries to claim that the evidence that would incriminate him is illegal. Then you present evidence law, because the police chief saying that the evidence exists makes it legal in his attorney land.
Yeah.
That was that was so confusing to me.
Yeah, so it wasn't legal at first because Phoenix can claim, oh, I don't know what this is what he's saying. When Gant specifically says, I'm talking about this thing, I did this, he gives all the context for it, then Phoenix can no longer claim to be ignorant, so it is therefore evidence that he has to present if he has it. But it also screws Gant over because there's no way, now that he revealed that he was the one who cut off and the one who arrived at the first, right, when he was trying to get Wright to present the evidence, there was no way it could exist in a world where Emma was the killer. Or Joe Dark. It's complicated, but it's pretty hype.
I was still confused by like the end of that whole sentence, but like it got like one of my favorite. I don't know if I like this or Manfred's breakdown better.
I like this more than Manfred's breakdown, but it's also just on a DS, so there's more frames of animation.
I like the animation of Gant's more, but I think the whole thing with Manfred's breakdown making Edgeworth remember the scream was cooler.
I did get up and start clapping while Gant did it. That was another hype moment for me.
Wow.
I scared my cats because I started clapping so fast and so loud, and I hurt my palms, but I wanted to be like Gant. I wanted to go insane clapping.
He's got gloves on, so...
Yeah.
That was pretty scary when that happened.
Yeah.
I think I've read somewhere that, like, on some hardware, the fastest he gets is one clap every 2 frames.
Sheesh. Man is clapping.
Yeah.
He is entertained.
I don't know how
What's
much
the world record?
I don't know. How much sense did the like evidence law gambit that Phoenix does in the last day make to you, Allie, having not seen it before?
It made total sense. I mean,
Okay.
those are the rules of evidence. I feel like they've mentioned it before too, even. Like
They
mentioned
mentioned
issues with like evidence being presented.
Yeah, they set it up on day 1 of the trial. I think they say both during day 1. but then they make it actual evidence on day 3, so you can present it to kill Gant.
Oh, I meant like in the other trials, like in the game, but
Yeah. I
that
don't think
too.
that's
Also, they did do it at the beginning, so it was like foreshadowed, obviously.
Yeah. I like the. I think it's a really fun gambit. It's one of my favorite.
I think it's cute
moments
that she
from
got
Ace
it to
Attorney.
him. Sorry.
It's my favorite moments from Ace Attorney. It's such a hype aura moment. And Lena's weird duck evidence law book. She also has a weird duck scientific investigation book she gives to Emma.
I do like when
So cute.
Phoenix says my trap has been set, and like he does his like duck animation. I mean his duck sprite where he looks very cocky.
Wait, can you post a photo of that? I don't think I saw it.
But
Like,
yeah,
I don't know why I call it his duck one, but
we
it's the one where he looks like a Muppet.
pretty much reached the end of this case. So I guess I know you have to leave soon, Allie's. So do you want to maybe give some of your overall thoughts on the case and anything else? Unless you can stick around for a bit.
No, I can hold off for just a few more minutes. I really liked the case. I thought it had some really cool animations and transitions, especially the transition for Emma going from the old SL9 case to today. I'm fairly certain that's what that animation was. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, the
for
opening,
a while. Oh, good.
Yeah, the opening is supposed to be the SL9 murder, and then the SL9 murder happening in the prosecutor's or in Gant's office, and then the other murder happening in the and then Lana stabbing the body, not the other murder. Sorry, it's really hard. There's a lot of detail in this case.
Not the ones on the same day, so it's like the 2 different times.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, because I
Whoa,
think it could also
that
just be
makes
the
more
evidence
sense.
for any other thing. I don't know. It's a bit hard to say. What the? Why did I write whatever? Okay, get back to what you're saying. I had to look something up.
For a while it was really slow because it felt like kind of like a repeat of the samurai episode where it's like, oh, this was a previous case 15 years ago.
You better get used to that.
A lot of things happen in the
Is
past.
that all of them?
A lot of the late game cases. Well, almost every case has some past incident tying like people's motives together. But a lot of the late game cases will have like, oh, this is Penis 7, the ancient police case that was never solved.
Penis.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but that's what you gotta get used to.
Okay. But I did really like this one because it was long and had a very thorough plot. I would say probably for the first 2 days I would have put it in A tier. That third day, the first half really was amping up, and like I was so hyped that I would have put it in S, like highest. And I think I did actually end up putting it at highest because of that. But it was fairly close with the last one, just because the length kind of took away from it a little bit for me. Like it felt like it dragged on a long time. But that could also just be because I'm watching a playthrough, and it was like 12 hours worth of gameplay that I had to watch.
It is a lot of gameplay, yeah.
So
Yeah. I think within the
those are
context.
really my thoughts. Oh, good.
No, you're good. If you had anything else. But you said you put it in
I
S,
just.
right?
What'd you say?
Sorry, you go.
I had like thoughts about the individual characters. I thought the little squid necklace on Angel Star was really cute. That it was like those hot dog things. It was like a lunch accessory. That was adorable. I really loved Lana as a character. And I didn't like the new Edgeworth animation with his face.
Yeah,
I don't think I did.
I don't like that
As
one
a
either.
huge Edgeworth stan, it really kind of put me off.
I don't like that animation either.
I'm glad he's getting more expressive. Like honestly, that's a big pro. So, I'll take it. Otherwise, oh wait, I did have a question because it said in this one that it takes 2 years for a case to close, and previously it was like it's 15 years for a case to close.
SL9 is already closed because it's solved. They're moving the evidence into archival.
I see. Okay. But they had like no they said they had like no evidence.
They had the shard of Joe Dark's knife and Neil Marshall's body, which is enough to convict them.
I see.
But that was forged.
Yes.
Edgeworth got the conviction off of the back of the knife, and the knife was like the biggest piece of forged evidence.
Did it ever explain how the other people lost their jobs?
Gant fired them. Gant got them fired, basically. Yeah. He only kept Goodman because he didn't want them looking too closely into the case where he killed somebody.
I see. Okay. Because they're good detectives.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why he says like I should have taken care of him too when talking about like John Marshall. But wait, no.
Yeah, that's what when he was like doing his confession, he's talking about like he should have. He's basically just regretting like not flat out killing Jake. Is the way I always read it.
Yeah, I agree with that interpretation.
He never intended to kill Goodman though. It was a impulse thing because Goodman like suddenly started talking about reopening SL9 while they were in the evidence room together, and he just kind of grabbed the SL9 knife and stabbed him in the evidence room.
Goodman's one of my like favorite pun names of theirs. Was like, oh yeah, he's a good man.
Good men die young. As
I completely forgot to bring up that thing about his ID. If you inspect his ID,
oh yeah.
It shows his ID number as like a bunch of numbers, and Emma's like, that's not right. It should be like letters or whatever. And Phoenix is like, well, what would you want to have it to be for letters? And she says, I don't know, like Yabba Dab. And that is an insane reference because I mean John Goodman, Bruce Goodman, John Goodman has like Yabba Dabba
Flintstone.
Yeah, Flintstone.
Flintstones?
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they have a Flintstones reference in Rise from the Ashes, which is insane.
Yeah. Granddad. Flintstones? That was my reaction when I read that.
Okay.
I've lost my mouse. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah. I guess if you want to hear our rankings, just to watch the podcast.
Yeah. If you have to go, okay.
Podcasts.
I don't know.
You should probably go and pick
the other option is we do a part 2 of this because it is a long case.
I mean,
I don't know how long you want to put.
I don't really have any other thoughts for a part 2.
Yeah, I said for almost everything I wanted to say. There's like
I guess I could join while I'm in the car. Okay.
I wanted to give my
going. I'll join back.
Okay.
There. So I decided that I wanted to do most obvious and least obvious killer award for each Ace Attorney game. While I was thinking about like the cases, and this is the last case Ace Attorney won. I'm not counting people who are revealed as a killer literally immediately. So Red, White, and Frank Solid are exempt from receiving this award, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I'm going to give the most obvious killer award to Damon Gant because of his giant smirk during day 1 of the trial.
Also, just the fact that the police were being so obstructionist during the entire thing.
I don't know. I think it was pretty obvious that it was Lana. I mean, she was even saying at the very beginning, "I'm the one who killed him." So.
But yeah, it does. Rise from the Ashes for me has always kind of felt like, oh, we gotta see how Gant did this, especially after he's introduced, he does his massive smirk immediately.
Yeah.
And like, okay, this is obviously the evil guy. Like, that is the most evil-looking sprite in Ace Attorney 1. It's more evil-looking than the sprite when Manfred von Karma active. But, least obvious killer award. This might actually surprise you. I'm giving it to Manfred von Karma.
No, I kind of agree with
Really?
that. I feel like it's only really found out on like the last investigation and the last day, honestly.
Yeah. So my perspective on this is that D is obviously suspicious because you don't even know she exists until the second day of the investigation. And obviously the killer is one of the people in the staff lot. You don't think it's Sal? No, so it has to be D.
Yeah.
Like, from cross-elimination, it's easy to do at that point. And then even then, she has her, like... Manfred and D both have, like, their big mafia/tasing scenes that we love to talk about. But I'll probably stop talking about once we get to Justice for All, but... I have, like, brought them up every single time so far. These horrible scenes where Phoenix is assaulted. But, I think D is a bit more obvious than Von Karma, just because Von Karma's evilness seems to stem from him just being like, oh, the final boss prosecutor. Like, he's worse than Edgeworth because he's the big evil prosecutor at the end. He's not the killer. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
I think that's a good red herring. It's not like a... Like, he has Yana Yogi as, like, a secondary killer who also helps him seem suspicious because you go like, oh, this guy's the... See if you can figure that out.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think that Manfred von Karma is the least obvious killer in Ace Attorney 1. I guess Yana Yogi also counts, but I don't think he's more obvious than Gant, so...
I still think Gant is just my favorite villain overall, though, the first game. Just because he's there for so much of it, and he has such an imposing presence.
Yeah, that's fair. He definitely does have a super imposing presence. I love his little stare he does.
Yeah.
You talked about that also.
He also doesn't...
Gant
Yeah,
has-
his stare is just so iconic. He also doesn't resort to, like, trying to do violence on the protagonist. He just bends the law in his way.
And he intimidates.
Yeah.
That's what I meant though when I was like, he's like red white if red white were actually like executed well. Like
I
he's
mean,
a
yeah,
much
I
more.
said I agreed with that. I just wasn't sure if that was their intention.
Oh yeah. Like. Yeah.
But yeah, Gant is my favorite design out of any character from Ace Attorney 1. He has a lot of my favorite animations from Ace Attorney 1. Like that electric animation is something that I've talked about outside of this being cool. The animation where his damage animation where he just like becomes electrified for no reason. It's great.
Yeah.
I
Why
love
is
that
he
animation.
so much electric theming? Like his hair is a lightning bolt. He does
Because
that.
it was designed after Zeus from Greek mythology is the reason.
Oh.
It's
Is
not
there a
anything more deep
reason,
than
or
that.
just like is there like?
Because Zeus is
or
like the top god and he's the top police officer.
Oh.
It's probably the logic. I don't
Yeah. I mean...
I like the Zeus theming, it's fun. Oh shoot, I was expecting a package. I should probably go check to make sure that got delivered.
Okay, well, we can talk about
But,
a few more things.
I still have more stuff I wanted to talk about. Shoot. Continuing my obsession with ranking the credit scenes, because Rise from Ashes also has credits. The worst credit scene is the Blue Badger falling over. I just didn't think it was that funny. I'm sorry. I love the Blue Badger, but the Blue Badger falling over is just a thing that happens. I've never really thought it was that great.
I
it's
must
like one of the
have
last
forgotten
ones,
I missed
too.
that one.
Or no, it's like in the
I don't think
middle.
I
For all
watched.
the Blue Badger haters.
I never
Yeah.
watched the credits scene.
But my favorite credits
You know,
is
watch
the
the
judge.
credits?
The judge coming up being like, I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said. What was his name again? Mr. Left. Anyway, he said he's been doing something for, how many years? Anyway, I got another trial to go to, so, oh no, I forgot my gavel! Gotta go! The judge
The
really,
first-
in his pathetic arc.
It's the first day of court, and I forgot my gavel.
I liked
Yeah.
the Meekins one where he said, "Someday I'll be like Gumshoe."
Yeah.
Does
I also
Meekins
like
show
the
up?
issue one where he gets
I don't
overlooked just because if you get that penalty anymore, it'd be worse than firing him. But that's all I wanted to say about Rise from the Ashes. I wanted to bring up my most obvious killer rankings
Fair enough.
and the credits. I'd say overall, Rise from the Ashes makes me feel love, which in my eyes is slightly. Listen, this thing you just have to take it.
Love.
I think it's like close to goodbyes, but I think the brisker pacing. And there's no weird like evidence room stabbing incident, which I do think harms the case overall, just the way it's presented.
Hmm.
I think it's the best case in my opinion.
I like bits in Ace Attorney where you like disprove your own thing that was saving you, which is something that works well for the evidence room stabbing, because you end up disproving it, and then Edgar just goes, "Okay, so Lana killed him then." And he says, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
But that's why I wish it was something that Phoenix brought up. I think it would be way better if it was Phoenix who brought that up and not Gant. But whatever, I already talked about that.
It's a very cool
I-
dynamic having Edgeworth like. I feel like it's the most blatant case of like Edgeworth being against you but also working with you to like figure
Yeah.
it out. Like he wants to point out contradictions in your stuff so then you can figure out what's up. Which is very cool because I mean you don't really get that as much in the previous case because you know he's a defendant in it.
Yeah, just wait until Winston Payne comes back and he starts doing that too.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Awakened Winston Payne. Phoenix, I love the truth. It's me, Winston Payne.
Yeah, but I mean, this is if I had to put it in my ranking, I'd put it at the top. I mean, I feel like it's pretty easy to put it up there. They had a lot more writing knowledge, I guess, at this point on. So they did a lot of things right. It's a very long trial, but
They do a lot of things.
I think I like it the most.
I will stand up for Turnabout Goodbyes if no one else will.
I mean, my entire ranking for cases these games is just 1 through 5. 5 at the top, 1 at the bottom. It just gets better as they go along. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get to the other games and I try and fit them in.
Oh yeah, speaking of the other games, do you want to just do Lost Turnabout? The first Case of Justice for All is its own thing. It's longer than the first Case of History 1, but not like too much longer.
We can figure that out once we're done here. Fluffy, I know you ranked it, but your ranking is number rating. So what's your number rating?
Oh, it is. I give it an 8.5 out. 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Probably the best of the first game.
Yeah. Okay.
Since I was gone, I gave Turnabout Goodbyes 8 out of 10. So it's a full half point better, which is pretty good in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm stingy with like my numbers. I don't give out like 9s and 10s too often.
If anyone else has anything else to say about Rise from the Ashes, say it now before we end here.
Wait, it's like he's a phoenix.
No way.
Oh, it's like he's a phoenix.
Oh
He
wait,
rises from the ashes.
There is something I wanted to say. I sent this to Goomb a little bit ago. Some fun fact I found on the wiki.
Oh yeah.
Shu Takumi, I think that's how you pronounce it, the creator, writer of the games, claimed in a blog post that he only came up with the idea for Rise from the Ashes after drinking several bottles of Wild Turkey bourbon whiskey over an unspecified period, with 3 other case concepts having gone nowhere beforehand. So, the power of alcohol.
Rise from the Ashes is inspired by turkey bourbon whiskey. That really explains that so much.
And Turnabout Big Top was inspired by who the fuck knows that? That's
also turkey bourbon whiskey.
Is he still writing the games like for the new ones?
Well, I mean, if you want to count the new one as the one that came out in 2017, then yes.
Oh.
Yes, all the new Ace Attorney games.
That is the most recent Ace Attorney game to come out.
That makes me feel old.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave it to the floor. Where can everybody find you if they want to find you? And anyone?
I am in your house. That's where you want to find me.
All right. Well, then, much like what Phoenix does, remember to press the like and subscribe button. And
I think it's my bit.
Okay, do your bit, go.
If you see a large, missing, engorged piece of drywall in your house, take an axe, chop it off, open up a hole. I'll be there, waiting.
Oh no.
I see. I'll try and look for you then. Okay. Well, look forward to more Ace Attorney Book Club things in the future. Yeah. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna go swimming. Anybody up for swimming?
Not
I hate swimming.
Oh, no swimmers? I guess
It's been like below freezing for like a whole week, and you're gonna go swimming.
Swimming, anyone?
But anyway, Lost Turnabout.